Yeah.
Rent stabilization or rent control or rent caps. You choose the moniker based on which side of the spectrum you're on with this issue.
Yeah.
But there's a bill proposing 7% caps to rent hikes, and it's making its way through the legislature, as we heard earlier from Matt Markovich. G, your general thoughts on the bill?
Don't do it. Nope. I don't want it. Now, it's real easy for people to say, what are you talking about, G? You want to cap it so these landlords, they don't be able to do these things. What happens is the people that sound like that haven't really gone through this. You feel me? Like, I've gone through this in life. And what have I gone through? This is what I've gone through. When you start doing things like this and you start putting a cap on it like this, you drive away the mom and pop landlords. When you drive away the mom and pop landlords, now you're going to have a limited supply of available places to rent. It's going to be harder for the people like me back in the day when I had really bad credit, right? I had bad credit. I was no opportunity to get a place. It was the mom and pop places that gave me an opportunity. These places that are going to be owned by these investment properties, they're not giving me that chance all over again, or you that chance all over again. So this is one of those topics, is that it is a 3-card Monty. This is one of those topics that you think you want this, but you won't know until you know. And then so all of a sudden, here it is. You're like, okay, I need to rent an apartment. Let me go try to rent an apartment. Then you find out that, oh, it has shrank. And when it shrinks, guess what happens to the rental market? It goes up. So, no, I'm against it.
Oh, can I? Okay.
Go ahead.
Because this is something that I get very passionate about. And this is coming straight from the heart for me.
Come on.
I don't have a huge knowledge of the housing market, of how all of this stuff works.
By the way, today's housing market is awful. And I feel sorry for a lot of people. Go ahead.
Yeah. Here's all I got to say. Where is the person coming from your point of view, G, who is a renter? You're not a renter currently, correct? You're saying
anymore.
if you were still a renter, you'd still have this feeling. You're not a renter.
Yeah, okay.
Renters out there who are against this bill, who are opposing this bill, come at me, please. Okay. I want to hear it. Because right now it seems like a lot like the haves, the have-nots, the us, the them.
Okay.
Well, it's an interesting pushback, David. I go back to Milton Friedman a lot when we talk about economic issues, and he would often talk about the visible versus the invisible, or the seen or the unseen. So you're kind of making the argument for the person who would be affected in a negative way, who might see their rent kind of jump inexplicably to a higher degree.
Here's the argument.
But then the invisible effect is kind of what G is talking about, which is like the broader market implications, which does hurt individual investors, but it's much more over a long term span.
What I'm saying is, as a renter, you don't have the privilege to look forward to the market implications. You don't have that privilege. You're looking for, what is my rent going to be this coming year? What's my rent going to be in 6 months? You're going paycheck to paycheck oftentimes, and you don't have that privilege to think, what's the greater market implication? You're thinking, how am I going to pay my rent in 6 months?
G, you get the last word here.
I want to say, you know what, David? You're right. Currently, I am not a renter. However, the game is the game, and it doesn't change. And what I mean by it doesn't change is right now, if the mom and pop says, okay, hey, I'm only allowed to go cap at 7% increase, that person says, okay, cool. David Burbank, you are now looking for an apartment. You have a 700 credit score. You have a job. You have all of these things. That's not good enough for me.
G, thank you so much for the time. We're up against the clock. Listen to the G and Ursula show every day from 9 to noon here on KIRO Radio. It is 8:54. Sully, you got to throw it over.